my attention was drawn over the weekend to something that I said last week. You know, last week I had mentioned to you a situation that had happened in GHANASCO, not Ghana's. And I've been told that the headmaster and some of the teachers have been very worried. You can understand. But in accordance with journalism principles, would like to retract and apologize. I started off saying it GHANASCO, but in the heat of things, Ghana's may have slipped out of my mouth, and I sincerely do apologize. It's not Ghana's, it's GHANASCO. And the response from the Ghana Education Service has gone to prove what I said. Dr. Clementa Park, the MP for Bolsa South, has also confirmed it, and many others have confirmed it. And you do know that last week when I raised the issue, the usual foot soldiers and everybody else who would say, oh, he's not objective. He doesn't like government, so he wants to say any and everything. They were the very first people, even before they understood what was going on, to say that the matter was not true. Well, there's a letter from a press release from the GES. But before we go to that, I want us to go back to the issues that I raised, and we'll pick the issues one after the other. Are you able to please play me the gentleman's video? There's a student of the school. We had his face covered. Obviously, we don't want him to be treated like the headmaster and mistress.
Like, since we came as year ones, we haven't just been to the toilet to like ease ourselves, to free ourselves every time, open education, people passing by, seeing us every day.
And how is this affecting your health and your academics?
Our health, I can say more about it because you just go to dining and just come back and just sit at the back and be eating, and the flies there, so we cover it. Sometimes when the wind is too much, it blows the papers and the scent is unbearable to control.
Have you had some of your students falling sick because of this?
Me standing there, I forced sick just recently. That was on Friday.
Which part of your body? What did you say is wrong with it? Typhoid and malaria. Okay. So right now, if you want to make an appeal on behalf of your colleagues, what would you say to the big man here?
Oh yeah, I'll just plead on my colleagues' behalf for him to build us maybe 1 or 2 toilets for us.
But I'm told that this used to be a toilet, so what happened?
Yeah, it used to be a toilet, but because there's not enough space and
space as in
like where to sleep and those things. So
they converted it. Okay. All right. What's your name?
My name is...
We don't want to know his name, but we want to know the situation that the boys find themselves in. And if you are a parent and you're not worried as I am, and you would rather stick with a political party when our children are being made to sleep in toilets, then you have a problem. Then you are part of the problem that we've been trying to discuss morning by morning. Show me where the boys ease themselves. Please show me where the boys, sorry if you're having your breakfast, but just show me where the boys ease themselves. The video is there. So this is actually the dormitory, right? This is the toilet converted into dormitories where the boys sleep. You're supposed to have a peace of mind. You're supposed to have the right frame of mind to be learning. But then the boys sleep in these converted things, right? This is where the boys sleep. And I mentioned this on Johnny's Bites last week, Friday or Thursday. I've forgotten the day. So we are here with the facts and the figures, and we actually get the results. We are here with the facts and the figures, and if anybody is minded, we will be focusing on these things, not majoring in the minors. Please show me the compound where the children go to ease themselves. And forgive me if you're having your breakfast this morning. But this is it. The compound where the children ease themselves. This is where the boy was talking about. Right? Sorry. I said sorry. I apologize to you profusely. But let this sink in. Now, please project for me the response from the Ghana Education Service. The Ghana Education Service, my own IPR mate Cassandra Chum-Ampofo, head of public relations, signed this. It's dated the 16th of April. It's a press release for immediate release. GHANASCO toilets turned into accommodation for students. The attention of the management of Ghana Education Service has been drawn to a viral video being circulated on social media showing some students of Ghana Senior High School, Tamale, using toilet cubicles as dormitories. This is very disturbing and unfortunate, especially when records available to us indicates that out of the 1,790 vacancies declared by the school, only 1,467 students have enrolled. The school is expected to have excess capacity to even have house extra 300 students. It is thus unacceptable to have students sleep in such a place. The headmaster and the senior housemaster have been directed to step aside to allow for further investigations into the matter by the Regional Director of Education and report back in 2 weeks. Management wishes to assure all stakeholders and the general public that it will continue to ensure that the students entrusted in our care operate in a safe school environment.
Johnny's Bite.
Pure PR gimmick, if you ask me. Pure PR gimmick. So the headmaster and the housemaster or senior housemaster have been asked to step aside. So it is true that in this country, we know how to ask people to step aside for investigations to be done. When the two deputy chief of staff were implicated in gate fee collection at the Jubilee House, were they asked to step aside? Who was asked to step aside for the PDS scandal? Who has been asked to step aside for the $40 million gold smuggling syndicate that has been shown on Al Jazeera and globally all across? Who has been asked to step aside for major things that have happened in this country? So we know how to ask people to step aside. And usually we'll pick on a headmaster who has no capacity to be building, a senior housemaster who is supposed to be just managing what it is. We have collapsed PTAs in this country. So now parents are contributing silently, and old boys and old girls silently. We are contributing silently, buying desks and other things to support the schools. Alaji Charles has told us that, look, furniture, accommodation, bank beds, all those things, they are in short supply. That's why we are running red, gold, green traffic light system in our schools. When I was in secondary school, we had a situation where Form 1s, Form 2s, and Form 3s were in school at the same time. Today, you don't have that. And sometimes the children go to school for just 5 weeks and they return. Now, we are saying that the headmaster and the senior housemaster, as vulnerable as they could be, they should step aside so the regional director of education should investigate and report back. The regional director should be following them to step aside. The municipal director should be following them to step aside. The circuit director should be following them to step aside.
Johnny's Bite.
The education minister himself should be following to step aside. The GES director general should be following to step aside. Because I know on authority that reports are presented to you in a certain hierarchy. I know that the reports come to you. And an old student told me that this situation had pertained in the school. It didn't start just when these two became headmaster and senior housemaster. So why are we trying to sacrifice them and play Motrobojo? We are trying to sack and put these two, the headmaster and the senior housemaster, in a position of vulnerability to cover incompetence and a failure to properly implement a brilliant policy like free SHS. Free SHS, Mr. Furiata has told us we need to segregate Those who can pay, let them pay. Different thoughts have happened. We are just interested in being populist about free SHS. When you talk, they talk about numbers. In that press release, we are quoting numbers. Go to all our Ivy League schools. Check. The last time I checked, the children were actually having Coco Sakura. Check.
Johnny's Bite.
So this letter is an apology. And I can understand why the head of GHANAS, not GHANASCO, GHANAS was worried. They were making calls. Because parents were also calling them. And they were asking us that, look, it is not us, it's GHANASCO. It's not GHANAS, it's GHANASCO. I can understand. Because the headmasters and headmistresses are being intimidated. You talk to the press, you are shown the exit. You are dealt with. I showed you sometime last year how a certain document had been drafted for the headmasters and headmistresses to sign to say that they will maintain silence even when things are not good. The headmasters and headmistresses are also human beings. They also have families and children. They also have people who love them. And they know. We know this. But we will always find the low-hanging fruits, just like we're doing in the matter of Galamsey. And I'm connecting this. You see, we don't have our priorities right in this country. The people who have made the policy that children should sleep in toilets, they don't have their children in those schools. I have dared them to show me where their children attend schools. I have dared them and showed them they should come and explain to us why they are putting other people's children through this. In other civilized countries, public schools are the norm. Private schools are the exception. In our country, private schools have become the norm. Public schools are the exception. How? How did Presec become Presec? How did a cracker become a cracker? How did a Disadel become a Disadel? How did Wesley girls become Wesley girls? How did St. Mary's become St. Mary's? Because some people took a deliberate decision to make sure that the quality was maintained. We have watered down the quality so low that now Atuye press releases. Children are sleeping in toilets. Children are sleeping in toilets.